You know the drill, you know how this works. So starting with the pros, the things that you are gonna love about Amsterdam. Number one is just the feel, the energy. Oh my gosh, it is so unique here. Big city energy with the small town charm still, even though it is a big city. Everywhere you are, it feels small, but has that hustle and bustle. I don't know. It's something that you just got to come and experience yourself to feel. But the second thing that you're absolutely going to love is just how late everything stays open. Now, if you're a night owl, Amsterdam is going to be great for you. If you're into the party scene, you have the red light district, which a lot more than just partying can be done. None of that in this video. Sorry. I'm assuming you know why we can't film down there. But you have that whole district, and restaurants just stay open really, really late, which I was surprised by. If you've traveled Europe before, you know that places can sometimes close a little bit early, but that is not the case here. We had dinner reservations at 9:45 on a Tuesday night. That dinner went well past midnight, and then we were still able to go and grab drinks afterwards. There are places available at any hour of the day for you to enjoy here in Amsterdam. And this really brings us to the third point, which is they have something for everybody. It doesn't really matter what type of vacation you're looking for. If you're looking for the big city energy, you can find that in spots here. If you're looking for that top-notch partying, you can find that. If you're looking for world-class museums, you've got that here. Parks, they've got it. Canals, obviously, they've got it. I mean, you just have so many options. Nobody is going to be bored in this city. And one of the things that I think makes it the most special is just how walkable it is and how it's really just what I like to call a stroll city. This city, I think, is best appreciated by just saying, I don't have an agenda. I'm not booking any tours, anything. I'm just going to walk the streets. I'm going to talk to locals. I'm going to see what's out there. Because this city is literally perfect for that, as I am wedged between two cars. Give me a minute. So the fourth thing that you're absolutely gonna love is the bike culture. Is I have never, and I mean never, ever, ever, ever seen a place that has so many bikes. When you walk out of Central Station, you end up seeing this like bike parking lot, and it is just amazing to see how many bikes there are. One of the locals told us that there are like 800,000 people living here in Amsterdam, and there's over 1 million bikes. So more bikes than people who live in the city. That's how big the biking culture is here, which is great. It's part of why the streets are so quiet, is because there are so few cars. So you are going to love that biking culture and that atmosphere that it helps create. And finally, the fifth thing that you're absolutely going to love here in Amsterdam is just how the city changes and almost gets better as you get further from the city center. So most cities, the city center is exactly where you want to be, right? In this city, that's not always the case. It can be, but I don't know, let me just show you. All right, so this is the city center, and as you can tell, it's just a little bit louder, a lot more people. Look, got a huge tour group going on back there, and there are just people everywhere, and it's only like 9 in the morning on like a Wednesday, so this place gets far more packed than this, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with. But then you get to a part of town like this, where you venture out just a little bit, and it gets really, really nice. So peaceful, so quiet, no tourists, definitely no cars. It's just a whole different feel, and like I said, it does just kind of get better. I've ventured quite some distance, like a few miles from the city center, and it still feels just like this. It doesn't ever get bad. I'm sure it does at some point, but I don't know, the feel over here is just, it's something special. Also, I know we got off to a quick start today, so if you've never met me, my name is Camden. My fiance and I, we move to a new country every single month, so we have a lot of travel-related content. So if you're interested in this sort of thing, consider subscribing if you want to follow our journey. But anyways, those are the 5 things that you're absolutely going to love. Now let's talk about the things that you're going to hate or just might not like that much. So number 1, I already kind of hinted at it. It's the bikers again. It's a double-edged sword. The bikers are great, but just know getting into this that the city is really designed for bikes. You know how most cities, pedestrians have the right of way? I don't think that's how it works here. It's very much bikes have the right of way. You got to keep your eye out. First day here is just, whoo, it is a trip. The bikes are silent, right? They're not making any noise, and they are just flying. They do not casually stroll behind these things. They zip around. There are so many, and they come from all different directions. So you've got the bikes to worry about, cars to worry about, and most of the cars are electric, so they're quiet too. And then you have the trams, which are also electric. So you got a lot of silent killers out there. So just make sure you don't get run over. Please be careful and just watch where you're going when you're walking. So be aware of that before you come. Anyways, the second thing that you might not love or might even hate is the food. It's interesting. Here it kind of seems like you have 2 tiers. You have the bottom level in terms of quality prices are still kind of high, and it's touristy, and you're gonna be overall pretty dissatisfied. Or you can pay up and get a really good meal. But when you pay up, you're definitely paying more than you would in other cities. So there really isn't a whole lot of middle ground. It seems like it's either really bad or really good. So there's nothing wrong with that. Again, it's just something to be aware of. The next thing that you might not love or might even hate is, in comparison to other European cities, this city can feel dirty. I think that's because real estate is just so hot here. It's such a cool place that there are not alleyways. It's similar to like New York in the US, being that most of the trash gets put out in front of the buildings and then picked up from there. So it's not uncommon to see trash bags in the street. Sometimes some of that trash spills out. And then I think also just with all the tourists, a lot of the tourists just don't treat cities in the way that they should. So if you are gonna come here, don't be one of those people. Get your trash into a trash can. They have them all over the place. Now, the fourth thing that you might not like or might even hate is just how expensive it is. And it's not astronomically high, it's just a little higher than I expected. And I already knew that it was gonna be high, but you really do pay for everything here and pay that premium. Like I said, with the food, you gotta pay up to get the good food. Pretty much anywhere you go, a bottle of water, the cheapest that we found is like $2.50. Plenty of places have charged like $3, $4. Had one place even charge $5 for a bottle of water, and that's at like dinner, right? So you're just gonna pay up a little bit, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just, before coming here, make sure that you've budgeted correctly, make sure that you give yourself enough money. It's important to note, the expensive thing isn't just specific to Amsterdam, that's just kind of the Netherlands in general, and that's because it's such an awesome country. There's so much to do, it's justifiable. People will still come because it's that great. Now, the fifth and final thing that you might dislike or might even hate about Amsterdam is just how many tourists there are, which is so hypocritical because I am one, and you probably would be too unless you end up moving here. So this city does have a ton of tourists, and there are parts of the city that are built for the tourists. There's that tourism center, that red light district, that city center. That's where all the tourists hang out. Do yourself a favor and just go out a little bit further. Walk a mile in any other direction and interact with the locals, because they're lovely people here. It's just beautiful scenery everywhere. So again, it's not that the tourism is bad. It is part of what helps keep things open, I'm sure, very late, and gives you a lot of options and variety. But just do know coming into it, this is not going to be an off-the-grid type of place, but I'm sure you already knew that. Point being, thank you for watching the video, and we'll catch you guys next time.